Welcome back, everybody. To all the new subscribers out there, hello and welcome to the channel. Glad you guys could join along. So, you read the title, you saw the thumbnail, and this is a big one. This is not something ordinary for my channel. Normally, if you watch the videos, you see it's just a lot of Jeep stuff. The Jeep has always kind of been my fallback on. Just kind of love that thing. I love getting out and enjoying everything I've done with it. But in my last video, you saw I sold all my other projects. That's right, the truck's gone. The Mercury's gone. What is this thing doing in here? Well, let me tell you, this was my daily driver. And then I started driving all the other cars. Luckily for me, like most of you out there probably have the same situation. When you sell a really good car and you default back to your old daily, the old daily gets a little jealous and decides to break on you. Not only does the daily break on you, but a bunch of crap in your house breaks on you. So that's kind of why there's been a little delay in some of my videos coming out, because I got a lot of other stuff going on that I've had to tend to, and with it being like -7 degrees outside pretty much every day, camping, even with the diesel heater, I got it right down here, even with the diesel heater, I'm not doing it. Like, the tent can stay warm, but I'm not living up in the tent the whole time I'm out. As you know, with the Jeep, everything's on the back, so I got to be outside for most of it. I don't mind cold weather camping, but when it's this cold out, not happening. Sorry, just not doing it. And that leads me to this. So like I said in my other video, I put it down to 2 projects. First project was we're gonna do camper van build. And then the second project was restoring the Mustang, which you guys saw in the thumbnail. And as you can tell from that, that's probably the way we're heading with this. So we're actually gonna do both projects. We're going to build the van, we're going to restore the Mustang. Going with the Mustang. It just makes sense to do it because I have all the parts for it, and it's been 27 years since I bought it, and it's been 24 years since I've used it. So that project is going to be number 1, which will give me time to save up some money, pay off some stuff, and get ready for the van. Because the van, I'm going to be honest, the van is going to be expensive. Because I got to buy it, I got to buy all the crap for it, and I got to do it. So clearly the Mustang was the better choice. I love you guys in the comments for giving me your stories and sending emails about old projects that you had with, with your dad or your mom working out in the garage doing stuff like that actually didn't get finished. So that was kind of the push for me to finish it. If you guys have the old project laying around, now's the time. Why not? Let's do this together. So, as you know, this was the spot for the Ram. Ram's gone. This over here was the spot for the Mercury. Mercury's gone. We've got the 4Runner, wife's daily driver. Nothing wrong with it. Knock on wood. Close enough. That thing stays good. Highlander, we've solved the brake issue. We've checked the ABS. That's good. So, with it coming up on 200,000 miles, we'll have to do the timing belt and all that stuff. I'm not doing that because, yeah, I'm just not doing it. Valve cover gaskets, probably have them do that when they do that. Fix the AC, problem on that thing. I'm not even going to dive into that just yet. With the Jeep, we got plenty of stuff to do on it. I also have to add the make a mounts for the front seats, so we get the new front seats in. And then, I mean, we added the camper van. So we went with get the van, make it cool, do adventures. So, I mean, with logic like that, you can't go wrong. I'm really pumped about doing that project. So honestly, that one's going to be fun. The Mustang is going to be cool, don't get me wrong. All right, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going into it. But the goal behind this car, it's not going to be, like an 8-second car. This thing is not going to be doing that stuff. The whole goal behind it is to finish the build the way I wanted to do it back in the day. Make it cool, make it loud, and just get it back on the road. It's been so long, I want to have fun, I want to drive it. Which leads me to my problem that you guys saw. It's literally just a shell sitting on jack stands at my brother's. So in this video, we decided we're gonna take one night, we're gonna get this thing rollable so I can get it transported back down here to the house. That's enough blabbering. Let's go ahead and jump on out there and see what we had to do to get this thing back together. All right, so this is pretty much where we left off with this car. It's been at my brother's, I think, for about 10 years. Sitting in this very state. It used to be a lot cleaner, but over those years it's got a little dustier. Used to keep car cover on it, but that really didn't work out very well. So the car is pretty much gutted. There's nothing underneath it. There's nothing inside of it. My goal was to start working on it out there, but things just kind of fell apart and the car just wound up sitting. So, I mean, this thing needs everything. You see, we need wiring. We need some repair work underneath. All that kind of good stuff. Pretty much everything you can possibly think of needs to be done to this car. So the good thing with it is, we actually, when I took this thing apart, I kept all the old parts, all the old bolts, everything possibly needed. So hindsight's 2020 on it. Thank God I kept everything, because putting the car back together was a lot easier than I imagined it was going to be. So I did find the old control arms, I did find the old bolts. So the rear end housing that we're putting in is actually the rear end that will be going back in this car. That is the factory Ford 8.8 rear end. This model car actually came with a smaller rear end, so we decided a long time ago that since we're going to be putting a lot more power through it, we needed to upgrade it to the Ford 8.8, and turned out to be a good choice. And thank God this thing was just laying right there on the shelf. We were able to grab it, throw this one in there. We did find a set of lowering springs for a different vehicle that we had, so we decided to put these in just because the springs were a lot easier to get in and out than actually trying to put the factory springs back in. So now we're going ahead and throwing in the front K-member for it. A lot of people switch like a tubular K-member when they do these. We are going to stick with the factory one. It's funny that we're putting all this in just to literally trailer at home to put it back on jack stands and take all this stuff right back out. So putting the bolts in, we just made sure that everything was nice and snug. We didn't have to torque anything down because, like I said, this stuff is coming right back out of the car. As far as the suspension geometry goes, we are going to run the factory K-member on it instead of the tubular member, just because I don't want to have to change everything. I mean, I literally, like I said, I have all the parts for everything. So, and I don't want to switch to coilovers. I don't want to switch to tubular A-arms. So we are going to keep it with control arm setup, factory. A lot of upgraded parts though. So rather than fighting this thing, trying to get it on and off the trailer and move it around, we just figured it was a lot easier just to bolt the old rack back in, so we could at least, you know, turn the wheels and not have to kick one tire at a time and just fight it all the way. So honestly, this was 2 bolts and then connecting the steering linkage. So we got good steering out of it now. So it turns really easy, and getting it on and off the trailer and inside the garage and out of the garage should be a lot easier. So again, we're just kind of slapping in a bunch of old parts we got laying around off all the Mustangs we've collected. Those springs in there are actually rear springs out of a different car. Just again, because it's so much easier to get the shortened rear springs in, just so this thing has some kind of support that it can hold itself up. I honestly can't wait to start pulling out the boxes and showing you guys all the new stuff we got that's going to be going on this thing. I got tons of good stuff for it. Alright, well, here's where I had the money shot set up to get a picture of this thing coming down off the jack stands after sitting for God only knows how long. And yeah, the old GoPro failed on me, which seems to be a normal thing lately. So, not cool, but I tell you what, She came down easy, and she's sitting pretty now. Well, there it is, back on all fours, off the jack stands. It only took us 3 hours to get this thing back together, which isn't bad. I kind of figured it was going to take a lot longer than it did. But thank God I had everything kind of labeled. I put all the bolts back, everything, when I took it apart. So it really went back together very quickly for what it was. But she's all set. She's still at my brother's right now. I'm working with a buddy to get this thing set up, to get it trailered back to my house. I can't wait to show you guys more content on this build. This is going to be super awesome. And I'm really excited that we're all kind of in this one together. So you guys, as always, appreciate every one of you watching. Yeah, but there it is. She's coming home. We're going to start working on her. So you guys, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you in the next video.